Hello, and welcome to Sports Culture, the show that blends the world of sports and pop culture. Without further delay, here's our first segment, sports. And in sports this week, I want to talk about football. And more specifically, I would like to ask the question to you, the audience. Would you rather have a high-scoring game and no defense, a little bit of balance of both, so some offense and some defense, or would you rather watch a game that is all defense and no offense? Which do you prefer and why? The reason I bring this up is because Thursday Night Football 2 nights ago was between a game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys was all offense and no defense, combining for over 70 points total on the game. And most primetime games this year, and when I say primetime, for those who don't know, I mean the big three, so Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and Monday Night Football, have been a mixture of balanced. And I mean, when I say that, I mean they're all defense, no offense, or sometimes it's a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense. We haven't really seen that high-scoring game like we did on Thursday night thus far this season. And that's saying a lot because we are 13 weeks of an 18-week season into the year. And so let's get to my opinion, and then I will kind of justify why my opinion is the way it is. I prefer the balanced approach, meaning a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense for the primetime games, and here's why. Yes, all offense, high-scoring games, and no defense is fun to watch, and it doesn't happen too often, so that's why I want to keep it special. The same can be said for no offense and all defense. Where the game may come down to a winning field goal, a winning play, the defense causes a turnover, and that turnover could ultimately lead to points, which could ultimately lead to the win. Although, to me, sports games are most fun when it is balanced. This creates that back and forth battle that you create. This creates that storyline, is what I'm trying to say. And that battle back and forth between two teams all game. You have one team scoring, the next team needing to defend. Maybe this team scores again, so then they need to score, kind of creating that narrative of back and forth, back and forth. This applies to all sports, not just football. Although, especially in football, every time the offense touches the ball, it is so crucial that they go down the field and they put up points, whether it's 3, whether it's 7, and then they go and they get that last stop, They go and they get that defensive stop from their defense, so then they can go back down and score more points. Because whoever scores the most points, as you know in football, wins the game. So, and ultimately, in addition to getting that big stop, whoever has last possession typically, I think, wins the football game as well. And so a balanced approach to me is the best way, or the best watch. What am I trying to say? A balanced approach is the best way to watch football because I like watching offensive plays, and I also enjoy watching how incredible a defensive interception, a defensive strip sack, a fumble, all of that. I enjoy both parts of the game. I don't really enjoy one over the other. And so that's why I want a balanced approach. And I feel like a little bit, the games in primetime this year have been a majority of that, but we could still see, I just hope that trend continues throughout the rest of the year and we see a little bit more balanced games. And so yeah, moving into Spotlight, we are going to be talking about Squid Game, The Challenge, the new reality series on Netflix. I started watching it last week, and I'm currently about halfway through because the way that they released it on the platform was they put out half one week, then this past Wednesday they put out another half, and then the finale is coming next Wednesday as of the day I'm recording this. So I haven't seen the second half. I've watched all the first half. So I'm going to give 2 cons, 2 pros, and kind of maybe one player that I'm rooting for to kind of go all the way to the end. Keep in mind, I haven't watched the second half yet, so I don't know if that player's eliminated or not. So starting off with the cons. Squid Game, The Challenge, cons. It's trying to replicate the show's success of Squid Game, the original show it's based off of, and honor the legacy it was built through keeping the game similar and only creating or replacing a couple of new games. That is quite the bill to live up to. Squid Game created a legacy for an original show and an international original show that is going to be tough to replicate in a reality series show. So They're doing their best, but they're also replacing some of those games, and so it's tough to live up to that name. Is kind of the con that I'm getting at there. The second con that I kind of discovered, which was the main one here, is that there's so many players to follow along with, and then you add on top of that their alliances, and it can just get really confusing at times. Some people confusing at times. It can get really confusing at times because certain players have smaller alliances, certain players have bigger alliances, certain players it's just one other player. And keeping track of all those numbers and names in your head can get a little bit jarring at times without reminders. So that's the only con that I see there as well. Now, getting to the pros, because the negativity is out of the way. Pros. They casted for the show a wide range of players from all over the world, varying ages, backgrounds, careers, and it's super insightful because it adds to the players that you want to root for. The more you get to know about the players and the more you get to know about their backgrounds and why they're competing for the money, the more you want to root for them, right? So I think the casting department on the show did a really good job of picking everyone in the show, and there is someone for everyone in this show. Whether it's you want to root for the older guy, whether it's you want to root for the younger student person, the younger student player, I guess I should say, whether you want to root for someone in between, whether you want to root for a villain or a really good person, or a really good guy, there's something for everyone. So there, you can definitely for sure pick someone to root for. And then another pro is that the twists and turns that the producers plan are amazing. You get to keep the viewer engaged as to what may happen next. So for example, something good in the game is always followed by something bad or a challenge. It could be not just something negative. It could be a challenge as well. But they always keep you on the edge of your seat. There is bits and pieces of just them in the dormitory, but then it's followed up by something happening or something. What's coming next? And there's always that fear, and they're trying to keep the viewer, just like the contestant, always on edge about what may happen next. And the producers did a really good job of that without going over the top. And even the little mini challenges that they get the players to do are also really well done. And so that's another big pro to the game. And then I guess my overall selection for who I want to win, I believe it is 302 or 402. His name's Trey. I want him to win because he just overall seems like a really balanced player. And so yeah, we'll have to wait and see if he wins the game or not. I'll have to watch the second half and then watch the finale like the rest of you guys. And now into my recommendation. This week's recommendation is more music. I know. I've been on a really big music kick lately on sports cultures with recommendation. It is what it is. And so this week I'm going to recommend that you go listen to the DJ group, The Cheat Codes. They are an LA-based DJ group. It's made up of 3 guys. They put out a ton of hits, such as No Promises featuring Demi Lovato in 2017, No Chill featuring Lil XL, and On My Life is one of their originals, among many other hits. I've rediscovered their music lately after not listening for a while, and I recommend you listen to them as well. For a bonus listen, if you want to go to the Armada Next, YouTube channel, if you look up, just go to YouTube, type in the search box, Armada Next Cheat Codes. They just put out an hour set from their office, and I'm started watching that, but I haven't quite finished it yet. So good so far. I can't wait to finish that. So yeah, go check out the cheat codes for my recommendation this week. And that's all the time we have for this episode of Sports Culture. So if you like the show, you dislike the show, any comments at all, feel free to leave them down below, including future recommendations of yours. So if you want to recommend that I check out a movie, a TV show, a musical artist, a song, an album, let me know down in the comments. I'll check it out and maybe I might include it in the recommended segment. If you would like to follow me, you can do so on Twitter or Instagram, or I guess Twitter's now X. So on my Twitter or X, I am at Dayton__Abbott. And my Instagram is Dayton.Abbott. And as always, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.